So, Blake, man is either the ark of God or a phantom of the earth and the water. So, Blake, hear me. If a man lives from his inner world, so from imagination, he is like the ark of God, a sacred vessel that carries divine life within himself. But if a man lives only through his senses, so material world, external facts, he becomes just a phantom, an empty, fading creature made of earth and water with no real divine substance. The next part. Naturally, he is only a natural organ subject to the sense. In his natural, unawakened state, man is just an animal body reacting to senses, to what he sees, hears, touches. He, in this regard, is enslaved by the outer world, unless he awakens his inner divine faculty, which is imagination. The eternal body of man is the imagination, that is God Himself, the divine body. So, imagination is the real, eternal body of man. Imagination is God Himself. So, if you live through your awakened imagination, you live as a divine being. If not, you live as a phantom. Your true self is not your flesh and bones. Your true self is your imagination. When you awaken to this, you realize you are divine. So here, Blake and Neville say the same thing. Let's continue with Neville. I know of no greater and truer definition of the imagination than that of Blake. By imagination, we have the power to be anything we desire to be. Through imagination, we disarm and transform the violence of the world. Our most intimate as well as our most casual relationships become imaginative as we awaken to the mystery hid from the ages. That Christ is in us is our imagination. So, through imagination, we disarm and transform the violence of the world. Which means, when you awaken to your creative power, and this creative power is imagination equals Christ within you, you no longer react violently to life. Instead of fighting, resisting, or fearing the world, you transform it internally by changing your state of consciousness. Instead of trying to fix the outside world directly, you change how you imagine it, and the world outside mirrors that shift. Our most intimate as well as our most casual relationship become imaginative. So, when you understand that imagination is the core of reality, even the way you relate to others changes. You no longer see people simply as outer fixed beings. You realize they are also reflections of your inner state. Every relationship becomes a place where you consciously bring love, forgiveness, beauty through imagination, not just reaction. So, I will read it again. Every relationship becomes a place where you consciously bring love, forgiveness, beauty through imagination. And it's not just reaction. It's not just reactionary. As we awaken to the mystery hid from the ages, that Christ in us is our imagination. The great secret hidden for centuries, the mystery hid from ages, is that Christ is not outside of us. Christ is our imagination. Christ is not a distant savior. Christ is your own power to imagine, to give life. Yeah, Christ is the power and the wisdom of God. When you realize this, you are no longer a victim of circumstances. You become the creator of your life through conscious imagination. So, in simple words, your imagination is divine By consciously using imagination, you heal yourself and your world. Christ isn't out there. Christ is the creative power inside you right now. We then realize that only as we live by imagination can we truly be said to live at all. Very beautiful sentence. We then realize that only as we live by imagination can we truly be said to live at all. Neville here is saying you are not truly living if you're just reacting to circumstances, just moving through life based on your senses, routines, or fears. Real living begins only when you awaken to imagination as your creative center. When you realize that you can consciously shape your reality from within by assuming and feeling yourself into the state you desire. So, most people don't live, they merely survive, react, adapt. They let external facts define how they feel, who they are, and what they think is possible. They are like passengers, not drivers. Living by imagination means you take responsibility for your inner world. You don't wait for life to change so you can feel good. You imagine feeling good, fulfilled, successful, loved, and life reshapes itself around your inner assumption. Living by imagination is living by vision, not by sight. It means you believe in what you have imagined before it is visible to the senses. And that act of faith is what actually creates the new world. So Neville says, if you don't live from your imagination, so from conscious inner vision, you are living someone else's creation. You are living under the spell of outer circumstances, not your true divine power. To live by imagination is to live as a creator, not as a reactor. And Neville continues his beautiful book. I want this book to be the simplest, clearest, frankest work I have the power to make it. That I may encourage you to function imaginatively, that you may open your immortal eyes inward into the worlds of thought, which is from William Blake, where you behold every desire of your heart as ripe grain, white all ready to harvest. I come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. John 10:10. The abundant life that Christ promised us is ours to experience now, but not until we have the sense of Christ as our imagination can we experience it. So, the abundant life that Christ promised us is ours to experience now. Meaning, the abundant life, fullness, joy, love, success, freedom, all that you want, is not something you have to wait for. Not after that, not in some distant future. It's meant to be experienced right now, here, in this world. Christ's promise was never about suffering now and reward later. It was about awakening now to your divine inheritance, abundance of every good thing, spiritually and materially. But not until we have the sense of Christ as our imagination can we experience it. You cannot experience that abundance while still believing that Christ is an external figure far away from you. As long as you think Christ is something separate, something you must please, beg, or worship, you remain powerless. Only when you realize that Christ is your imagination, that your ability to imagine, feel, and assume new realities is Christ in action, only then can you create and live the abundant life. It's all about internalizing Christ. It's about realizing that Christ is my own creative power. And as we said before, as Neville says, or Corinthians, Christ is the wisdom and power of God.